Look at that! Power and performance of Classic Trackmaster giving a smackdown at Trackmaster 2. And we were told it was all high speed and all performance. Well, it's not. Well, hello there, my lovelies. We're going to do a bit of a Diesel versus Diesel video. One playset's called Cranky's Spinning Cargo Drop. It's from the Classic Trackmaster era. It has a working hard Diesel in there, and I'm pretty sure there's a nice little face on that one there. Cranky's also in this set. The copyright of this toy is 2013. It cost me $49. It was a Trackmaster playset right at the end of the era of Classic Trackmaster. The other playset, it's a bit different. It's a 3-in-1 track building playset. It's from the Trackmaster 2 era. It has Diesel, but Diesel doesn't have any special sort of face. It's a 2015 toy. It cost me $39, so it was $10 cheaper than the Trackmaster Classic set. And who knows, it might be an absolutely wonderful toy to have. The first playset I will set up will be this Cranky's Spinning Cargo Drop. Let's take a look at the back of the box. Oh yeah, okay, so we get a bit of an idea of the play there. Well, out of those two there, which one's more devious looking? Okay, well there's a look at one of them, and there's the other one, and there seems to be some strange Photoshop work done to Diesel's face there. Now what's really nice about this playset is you're actually getting two characters and a little wagon to play with. It's not that obvious, but Cranky's actually a character, and he's a fairly awesome looking Cranky. There's a little picture there of the cargo drop feature. And a picture there to remind us of the wondrous world of Classic Trackmaster. Oh yes, hopefully bringing back some memories for you to expedite some time in unboxing. I've actually got one of these sets that was my son's, and it's already been played with, so I sort of already know about this playset here. Let me set up and show you how it works. These were the constructions, a little bit of assembly to do, nothing too hard. A reminder here of just how simple this layout here is. One thing about Trackmaster Classic was it was fairly simple, and there's nothing wrong with simple, I can assure you. Speaking of simple, hello Diesel. Okay, on camera at the moment is the Classic Trackmaster Diesel. It's a working hard version, and we know that because he's got the working hard face there. Quite a nice Diesel face. It's not one of my favourite faces. Because I'm a Diesel collector, I've got some other awesome ones. Let's have a very close look at what's going on here. Okay, what's nice about this face is there's a lot of nose. It's a real feature of Diesel, isn't it? And we go around and look at the front on, and it really doesn't disappoint. It's a shame the cheeks aren't a little bit more red. If you looked at the box artwork, they're actually painted up more red. But hey, let's just be grateful we've got some sort of featured face there. I think that's what really makes this playset stand out. Into my hand, I've added a classic Tommy Devious Diesel 1997. It's got like the lunatic left the asylum face. It's very much the way Devious Diesel was portrayed. He was like the really naughty menace. It's quite curious of Devious Diesel, or most people just call him Diesel now. His character has been distilled and he's morphed a bit. In fact, a lot of the Thomas and Friends characters have. But what really makes this one nice is the fact we've got that special face, and that's something that I've been harking on about of late. And while we're speaking characters, really, this is the star of this playset because it's called Cranky's Spinning Cargo Drop. It's not called Diesel's Spinning Cargo Drop. It's quite nice. I don't mind this one at all. It's a shame we don't have yellow along here like it should be, like the box shows on the front. I suppose you could dress this up yourself, but hey, as for a Cranky, it's quite a nice one. This playset also has a wagon. Back when wagons had a long wheelbase, remember the good old days, boys and girls? Yeah, it's nice. The cargo can actually sit on there. There's some little lugs there so the cargo doesn't get rattled off. Hey, I don't mind that at all. Let me ditch the constructions because men don't read those. Let me build the playset up and I'll show you it running. I'm just double checking that I made the correct layout. I noticed my son has added some straights into when he was playing with that. Sort of says that layout's a little bit small, doesn't it? Well, there it is up on the table there. Yeah, Diesel down there carrying the load. And you've got to set Cranky in the right spot here. Hopefully he will set up. Yes, he is set, and sometimes we found him to be a little bit troublesome. Sometimes he doesn't want to set up because sometimes that switch can be a little bit, well, cranky. So let me send Diesel on his way, and hopefully we'll see this playset play out for us. Going over the back there, there is an area there you can connect to another set, and I should do the pickup. Okay, whoa, yeah, and he has delivered the parcel. Well, I'd like to see that again. Let me reset the load onto Diesel. Okay, let me reset Cranky. And any moment now we should see a parcel pickup, I hope. Oh, there it goes. And he has landed it correctly. Mind you, I've got a wagon that wants to keep jumping the rails. I'm not quite sure how that's happening. That's one of those play sets that's going to keep you busy. Let me put the load back on there, hopefully the right way around. And I'm a bit curious to see that action again. Okay, any moment now, a parcel pickup is going to happen. Yeah! Once again, he has delivered the reload correctly. Let me use that camera there to study what's going on. Well, of course, I went to put the slow motion camera to study this little section of the playset. And I studied it over and over and over and over. And do you think I could get that little wagon to jump the rails? No, it was just going to be plain hard to get. But anyway, we get to see how this little playset triggers Cranky. And maybe I start to understand why it's such a sensitive switch, because really, it isn't much of a knock that wagon can give to that little tab that sticks up out of the playset. And also, in looking at this, it's a reminder that you need a specialised wagon to make Cranky do his cargo drop. I've had a couple of the Trackmaster sets that have sections that trigger, and I've had a few of them which have actually been what I call a bit hairy, in the sense that they trigger far too easily. But then again, maybe that's the way they've got to be for them to work. I'm sure there'll be some of my viewers that have had this playset and they might have stories about their Cranky playing up and being very, very tricky to reset. Or maybe it's the other way around, maybe it's tricky to trigger. It can work both ways sometimes with toys, you just never know. Well, it's sort of addictive fun watching this playset. You sort of love watching Cranky do his thing. Let's watch it once again. Go Cranky, go! And let me come in and turn off Diesel because he's making a few too many Diesel noises. Okay, let me start saying the things I like and dislike about this playset. We actually have a lot of trouble with Cranky. He can be very troublesome to reset, and sometimes then he takes a little slightest bump for him to trigger, and I'll just show you how tricky he can be to reset. He's playing up in me right now. Now he's reset. Now if I just thump the table, he'll probably go off. Okay, there's one problem. Oh yes, I could open it up and re-trigger this switch, but what I found was that I think that can be quite a troublemaker as well, because I think that was a problem derailing this wagon, even though I couldn't substantiate that in slow motion study. As soon as I tried to study it, all of a sudden the playset started to behave itself. Another thing I don't like about this playset, and in a funny way, when I found the way my son played with this, what did he do and what did I show you before? Well, he added some extra straights. If they threw in a couple of extra straights and made it that little bit longer, it would have been far more awesome. With this Classic Trackmaster playset, Cranky actually snap fits into this part of the playset. Now that's sort of good in a way, and it's also sort of bad in a way. I know children love to play out their favourite episodes. Cranky first appeared in an episode called Bugs. That's where you really get to define what Cranky's all about. Whether that face defines what Cranky's about, you tell me. But I know that with this playset, if you go to do something from the episode Bugs, and it might be something like this, Cranky! Well, the whole playset gets destroyed, doesn't it? And also, while Cranky's down here, it's also a bit of a strange Cranky for the fact, because it's dedicated to the way it plays in this playset. It's a fairly rigid sort of Cranky. It doesn't have a nice pickup line because it's basically doing a task that it's designed to do on this playset. Let me drag in another Cranky to show you one that I really liked. Just done some reconstruction work. Let me slide that across and drag in a Cranky that is going to impress. Ooh, look at this one here. Do you remember this one? I purchased this one many years back when I bought the Totally Tidmouth Take and Play playset. Now that is what Cranky looks like. There's the two of them side by side. There's a big difference in scale. Oh yes, certainly an all singing and all dancing Cranky. Noticing that Cranky is in yellow makes a big difference just doing that one bit of detailing. We can manipulate the little hook and the fact the arm moves here as well. We've got a string here, it's not rigid. The hook has got a magnet in there so we can pick up all sorts of different loads, and we also hook onto things we want to. I know for a fact my son had a ton of fun playing this Cranky, and hey, so did I as well, but this Cranky is like a totally different Cranky to the one that we see in this Classic Trackmaster playset. Completely awesome Cranky. I'm glad I brought it out to show you because it was take and play. It had sort of hinges there, and with that little feature there you could do your favourite episode, and it could be Bugs, and Cranky would be going, you're nothing but bugs, Oops, there's been an accident. But that's the way children play. I think you could get this playset individually. That's stuck there, I don't know why. And also, in the Totally Timoth, as I said, you could fold it up like that because it was like a real take and play. Sadly, some of those sets have morphed away from what I call a nice take and play, and what I call take and play is ones that fold up like that. You can pick them up and you can take them away. Sorry to pick on Cranky again, but because of the way he plays, it's actually a One Direction playset, and you can tell that by seeing the arrow there. Cranky only triggers going in that direction. But hey, let's not be too cranky. Let's talk about some of the things that I really like about this playset. It comes with a set of points, and of course it always comes with a lot of curves. In fact, what I like about this playset is it actually comes with what I call just normal standard track. Sure, there's a trick piece of track there, but it's quite a worthwhile piece because our friend Cranky is connected to it. We get some strange cargo that's really designed to be picked up by Cranky. We get an awesome Diesel. Why was he awesome, do you remember? He's awesome because he's working really hard. We got a specialised face. And added with Devious Diesel, who's stunningly doing some work, well, we have that second character in this playset, and of course it is Cranky. But I think the thing that I like most about this playset, and it's something I've seen people speaking about in comments in my videos, this playset can play out like part of Sodor. Children can pretend they're on Sodor Island, or part of it, with this playset. And maybe you've noticed this, or maybe you haven't, but Trackmaster 2 has been drifting away from a Sodor feel. At least this playset here has a Sodor feel to it. Maybe it's a perfect time to drop that box in, because remember we showed that picture before? That picture down there? Well, there's that picture of all those little playsets, and there's some information about what they are. The Windmill Starter Set, Deluxe Signal Starter Set, Cranky Spinning Cargo Drop, which is this set, Royal Castle Gates Delivery, Brendan Bay Cargo Delivery, blah blah blah, it goes on, but it all does feel like parts of Sodor. So Cranky's Spinning Cargo Drop is really a nice throwback to earlier, simpler times. Back when train sets were sort of flat and not trying to emulate roller coasters. Let's push that aside, and Cranky's just had a play. Told you he sets off very easily, and we'll take a look at the Trackmaster 2 set here, which features Devious Diesel, and it's the 3-in-1 track builder set. Thomas and Friends Trackmaster 2, this is a very different animal to the previous playset we looked at, even though we're still looking at toy trains. Do you think this is depicting somewhere on Sodor? Maybe that seagull has flown in from Sodor. That's an interesting read there, great value, over 25 pieces. But how many of these pieces are going to be worthwhile in making up train sets? What I call value in a train set is the amount of track pieces and the amount of characters. This train pack is a bit different because you get 3 different designs and layout from the parts. There's some parts here which can be used for multiple different things. Maybe that's a good thing or a bad thing. We're going to find out when we start to make up this playset. Okay, let me release Diesel from his plastic bubble here. Don't forget to save this plastic bubble because you can make ghost diesels and do fancy things. And if you've got decent faces, you can stick that on the bubble and put them on the character, can't you? Very important to keep that. Here comes Diesel. Ooh, yeah, Trackmaster 2 Diesel. Looks like a stock standard one, but hey, some people might really like that. And the face is saying to me, I'm Diesel. Trackmaster 2 introduced some radical changes in design. Probably one of the biggest ones is the fact we've got a geared wheel at the back here instead of traction tyres. It allows different sorts of play. If I open up the cord, and I've already thrown the batteries in here, what we've got in the centre here is something which has been standardised. It's actually a very, very clever design. I've pulled one of these down in another video, and I liked what was going on in here. It's very simple to troubleshoot, and there's nothing wrong with being simple. Simple is often the best thing to do. But it is actually a slight downsize versus the Trackmaster Classic Diesel. If I line them up at the back there and then go to the front, you can see that Trackmaster 2, which is down the bottom of the screen there, is shorter than the earlier Trackmaster, and that's of course the one from the Classic set that we just had a look at. It's not bad as a Diesel shape. Mind you, Diesel's a pretty basic shape and he's a pretty basic colour, isn't he? You really can't go wrong, but I think the most disappointing aspect is really the face. It's just too happy. I mean, Diesel has been on happy pills with a face like that, and it's just not right. And most important thing to note is this is just a stock standard Diesel. That's the same one as you're going to get if you go and buy Diesel in a pack and he comes with his little red explosion thing. And in this playset, all you get is that character there, Diesel. Coming in for the unboxing, I'll have to flip it up to this end here and pour the parts out. There's the construction, there's a big part there, blah blah blah. Okay, here are the parts out on the table. That's quite an interesting piece, isn't it? You can do things with that. I think in one of the scenarios you can actually make a tunnel section there. I don't mind that at all. This is curve short CS. There's also CL. I want more CLs, but I haven't worked out where to find them. There's 2 different radius tracks of Trackmaster 2. Looks like some sort of mining thing. That's not bad. There's that piece there. There's all little bits and bobs there. Must be make up part of the ramp, I think. A couple of very short straights. A winder section, which is always useful. Okay, those bits there. A buffer stopper. Hey, I think I'm going to need those to help me build one of these layouts up. Well, of course I'm a man, I never read these, I just throw them in the bin. But if I do open it up, it tells you how to make up the layouts. Each section of track actually has a little name, and it's on the back if you look carefully. Which one will I make? Eeny, meeny, miny. I think I'll make up... It's hard to decide, actually. Oh, I don't know, one of these. I'll make up choice 3 because it's in the shape of a pear. And by doing that, I'll be able to get some jokes about things going pear-shaped. Can't help myself, can I? This playset has some elevation in it, and the way they've done the elevation in this one is a little bit different. I've set one of the pieces up here. It's made up of these sorts of components that you sort of build together, and it's basically like a hinge, a Trackmaster 2 hinge. I've never seen that style of piece before. But in seeing that, reminds me that Trackmaster 2 is full of all of these little specialised bits and bobs that sometimes can be semi-useless. Who knows, that might be the new way they get up and do things up in elevation. There's all different sorts of ramps that I've seen in other sets. That's something new. Okay, remember I like the pear. Well, the pear has taken shape and I've got it up on the table there. And you know what? It's actually not bad. It looks fairly impressive. It actually looks fairly interesting. I do sort of question the little bits of elevation here. It seems like a lot of effort to go to just to get this little section of elevation. I dare say you could just rip those out and you could apply that to over here and make it a tunnel. I don't know, I think weird tunnels are sort of more interesting. Anyway, let me power up Diesel and give him a spin. Well, let's get Diesel going here. Some people are going to say, hey, that playset looks pretty cool. You know what? You're actually right. There's little things to traverse through and all the rest of it and go upsy downsies and daisies and whatever else, but one thing it's actually missing is well, what is there to do? What is Diesel's job here? Remember the other place that had a purpose and there was things to do and things to cart around? Well, what's he doing here apart from pretending to be on a roller coaster? Maybe there's segments of Sodor there. Who knows? Looks like ruins to me. But imagine if this playset came with, let's say, one little bit of wagon or something and some cargo. Wow, it would really elevate this playset. And let's not even go there. Imagine if we had a really nice special face or some special decorations on Diesel. Well, ooh, then we could really be getting excited, boys and girls, couldn't we? Really excited. I'm going to be quite daring and strip out these. Oh, can you do it without derailing Diesel? And I'm going to make that tunnel up. Yeah, I like the aspect that you can just change the design, but then again, what part of Sodor is that? Is that like something from Misty Island? Well, there is a playset playing out like a flat pancake. Some children really like playing like that, but some like a bit of an adventure. I know children like to improvise, and I'm pretty sure my son would do something like this. He would squeeze a wagon under here, and carefully squeeze another wagon under here, and Diesel would come along and roll over them. And if you get them in the right or just the wrong spot, you can have a little bit of weird sort of play. And by putting one wagon into that very scary hairy bend, we can give Diesel a new challenge in life. He gets over it, but is this what playing with trains is all about? Is this drifting too far away from the core reason why we play with trains? One thing for sure is this playset is very, very different to that previous Trackmaster playset that we saw in this video. Don't get me wrong, there's really nothing wrong with this playset, but if it had one thing added to it, or one thing which carries another thing, it would really, really lift it up. Let me show you. And as Diesel comes through, I'll just capture him and I will add in the thing that I think that would have made this playset far more awesome. And with Diesels, you push buttons to start them, don't you? Well, all of a sudden, he's got a purpose in life. All of a sudden, this train set is actually looking like a train set because, well, we've got something to do, haven't we? We've got some cargo there, and Diesel is actually busy. He's not being lazy. Mind you, if he's working hard, he should have red cheeks. but that one little addition has made a big difference to the way this playset plays out. But hey, just remember that didn't come with this playset. Well, that section there, it's fairly skeletal. I suppose it's part of the mines, isn't it? I suppose a big imagination, you can pretend there's like a mountain there. I'm really imagining, aren't I? This other part here, I suppose you've got that little thing to hit there. I've dressed it up as some sort of funky mining tunnel. I like it like that, but really, when you strip that back down, it looks like something more from a diorama. If you're going to do like a World War II tank busting through the middle of Europe, well, that's the perfect little thing for you. Well, let me do something a bit daring here. Let me push this aside very carefully without knocking off Diesel there. Okay, let me drag in this playset here, and we'll take a look at the two of them side by side. Okay, let me get Classic Trackmaster Diesel away. Okay, there are both of the playsets. The footprint of them is actually fairly similar. Which one's sort of saying to you, Thomas and friends, Sodor Island? And which one's sort of saying train set? Which one do you prefer? Do you prefer the Trackmaster 2 there? You can get 3 different designs from that playset there, or do you prefer the Trackmaster Classic with the extra wagon and Cranky? Well, I'll tell you what, if ever you want to see chalk and cheese with toys, I think this is a great example. There's going to be some die-hard Trackmaster Classic fans that are going to be screaming about that set there, but then again there's going to be the new kids on the block, and they're going to say, wow, Trackmaster 2 is the best thing they've ever seen. Maybe by just scrutineering the diesel engines on each one, you can sort of say which one you prefer. I know that is often the tipping point when people like one versus the other. If I go across to the Classic Trackmaster, you know what? That's a classic shape, isn't it? They've got it right. There's never been any complaints about it. Sooner or later they're going to kiss. Oh, that was close. Well, it looks like that Classic Trackmaster. Oh, he's just crashed. He got a bit of a kiss from Trackmaster 2 and that got him off the rails. Maybe that says more than what I could ever say. On your way, Devious Diesel, that was fairly embarrassing. I know the other thing I like to do is I'll pick up Trackmaster 2, Devious Diesel, and I'll set him on his way here. And let's just see which one pushes which. Whoa! Hey! Hey, oh, whoa, look at that! Power and performance of Classic Trackmaster giving a smackdown at Trackmaster 2. And we were told it was all high speed and all performance. Well, it's not. Maybe I'll translate that over to Trackmaster 2 track. Whoa! That was quite scary. And speaking of scary, Classic Trackmaster is now on Trackmaster 2 track. Away it goes. We're sold. This is all cross-compatible and all the rest of it. Blah, 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 blah. Let's see what's going to happen here. Whoa! We've just sort of knocked our load over, but we're going to set off Trackmaster 2 Diesel in the opposite direction any moment right now. Oh, it's another smackdown, and what's going on here, boys and girls? Which one's got the better performance, hey? Oh, some nasty sounds coming from Trackmaster 2 Diesel there. You'd never ever have guessed that was going to happen, would you? Maybe we're starting to learn the wonderment of traction tyres. Traction tyres, I think they're better than gears. Ho ho ho! So it's got you thinking, hasn't it? It's got you thinking very differently now. What's your thoughts of that playset there versus that playset? Which one do you prefer? Can you make up your mind? Why don't you tell me? There might be a little bit of a surprise. Oh, I better turn off this toy torture, or else we're going to have no... They're starting to kiss there. Naughty, naughty. Back on your own playset, please. I don't want any more diesels getting about the way you two are going on. Oh, and there's your little load there as well. On your way. Well, I hope you learned something in this video about those toys there. Thanks for watching and bye for now. Now I'm just doing my head in with the maths here and trying to see where they're getting 25 pieces from, because remember, it said on the box is great value over 25 pieces. Let's count. Okay, I'm going to start counting here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Where is the over 25 pieces? I don't understand. Oh, okay. This is a bit sneaky. That sub-assembly I did at the start of those little hinges, and this is only a very small section of track. It's useless if you separate that into separate pieces. It looks like to get your piece count, you've got to break all these up. Oh, that's just wrong, doing it like that. That's wrong. I mean, that's what I'm thinking. That's not on, guys.